all you art kids and technologically challenged friends. This video is about how to use Adobe Audition, how to edit and manipulate voice pieces. So I'm going to show you how to cut out sections, move them around, deleting them, overlapping, adding pauses, slow down, and speed up. Change the loudness of the clip, all in some hella easy steps. I'll even add in some keyboard shortcuts and teach you some technological jargon to make you sound like a pro. I have everything arranged for you in sections, so all you gotta do is skip ahead to the title that you want to watch. So pull up a chair, get comfortable, and let's get started. Here's a helpful hint. Before you start editing your voice clips, place them all in one folder. That way they'll be easily labeled and easier to find. Alright, to start, let's open up Adobe and get down to business. We're going to hit multi-track, and this window is going to pop up. So what we're going to do is name our session. I'm going to call mine Amara's Mixdown. Then I'm going to hit Browse and save it in a location that I'll remember. So I'm going to save it in Libraries and in my Documents. Then you're going to hit OK, and we'll begin. So let's start by looking at the environments we're working with. Here's the layout. I did a simplified version to make it easier to understand. Alright, at the top we have our menu bar, where most menu bars are. Here's the preview section. It'll allow us to look at the edits that we make without making any of the edits permanent. This is the normal view. We'll be using the normal view to edit our voice clips. Next we have the Files Imported section. This allows you to see what the voice clips are when you're editing them and pull them up from your well-named folders. While editing clips, it'll show up in your timeline section. This is where you'll be editing your voice clips. You can slow things down or speed things up, add parts in, or cut things out. This is where you'll be doing all the edits that I'll be teaching you later on. These are our handy-dandy tools which we will be using to edit our voice clips. Here we have the slide bar. The slider bar right above works in conjunction with the tracks and the timeline section. It'll allow you to move left to right on your timeline. The other sections you don't really need to worry about. Here, the unimportant section actually shows different levels of your voice clips, but honestly, I would just hit the X button so you'd have more room on your workspace. And here is your preview for the slowed down or speed up section. You won't really need that unless you're speeding tracks up or slowing things down. Alright, so now that you're familiar with the environment, let's get started. Selecting tracks. To upload a track, you're going to hit File, Import, File, and then you're going to select the tracks you want. So for me, I saved them under Music. I named mine Party Mixdown. I'm going to open it up, and here I'm going to wait for it to load, and there you have it. To select multiple tracks, you're going to go to File, Import, File, hold down your Control key, and select the tracks you'd like to upload. Then hit Open. And they should all appear in your Files Imported section. Here's another helpful hint. You can hold down the Control key and pick more than one file. This way they'll appear in the Files Imported section. If you get an error, go to Edit, Preferences at the bottom, Media and Disk Cache. Then unclick the check mark beside Use Open for displaying video, and hit the Enable SLMS Format Support. That will allow you to click the Enable DLMS Preview. Now go back and try to import again, and it should work. This error usually comes up when you're first opening Adobe Audition. Moving tracks on the timeline. Simply click on the tracks you want on your left, hold it down, and drag and drop it onto your timeline. Then hit OK. Here, it's converting the file type, so wait a couple seconds and it should appear. Here's another helpful hint. You can color the voice clips in each track by highlighting them and left-clicking your mouse. Then hit Clip, Group Color Range, and then you can identify them more easily. I would suggest putting each voice clip on a different track. It'll make it easier to keep track of. Moving left to right on the timeline. So, to move left to right on the timeline at the top, you're just simply scrolling using the slider bar. Instead of continuously scrolling, Zooming in and out will be helpful when dealing with really long tracks. Zooming in. If you hover over the edge of your slider bar, you'll see this icon pop up. The magnifying glass will help you zoom in and out. So what you're going to do is click down and drag to your left or your right, depending on how zoomed in or how zoomed out you want your timeline to be. As you can see here, it changes the length of your voice clips, depending on how large or how small you make the bar. You can also use the left side. I just like to use the right. Splitting tracks. Here you're going to make handy-dandy use of that razor tool. To separate out sections of the voice clips, simply click the exact spot you'd like to cut. So for example, I'm going to zoom in on 6 minutes and 25 seconds. And right at this spot, I'm going to click down with my razor tool. You can see here that the clip is cut into 2 sections. Then make sure you click the arrow tool before moving the clip. Then you can simply slide the track onto any section in the timeline. Here's another helpful hint. With the razor tool, if you cut a track at the wrong section, simply click on the edge of the track you cut and hold it down and drag it to the right. Here you can see it reveals the part you just cut out. This may be a quicker way of adjusting and gaining precision. Combining tracks. If you want to put 2 new tracks together, you must make sure that they're snapped side by side. So to ensure this, make sure that upside down mute button is selected. Next, we're going to right-click our mouse, hit Ripple Delete, and Gap. You can see here that the voice clip moved right up against the edge of the next voice clip. It's important that there are no spaces, or else there'll be a lot of background noise. Here's another helpful hint. You should record a couple seconds of silence. So just sit there for about 10 seconds. Be silent, look around, daydream, pick your nose. Then you can insert that clip between voice pieces, wherever you want pauses. Duplicating clips. Simply click the clip that you would like to duplicate with the time selector tool. Next, you're going to go to your timeline and highlight the section you'd like to copy. You're going to right-click your mouse and hit Copy. Then, select the exact place you'd like to duplicate the file. So for example, I'm going to duplicate mine at 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Then I'm going to right-click, press Paste, and there you go. Slowing down and speeding up clips. Click the sound clip you'd like to edit with the time selection tool. Make sure the piece that you want to slow down or speed up is in one entire voice clip. Click the sound clip you'd like to edit with the time selection tool. Here you're going to click on the clip, right-click, and go to Stretch and Stretch Properties. Here it'll appear in your preview section. And you don't see an orange number with a percentage sign. What you're going to do is, in the Mode section, hit Real Time. Here you're going to see the duration and your stretch. You're going to click on the stretch number, and here you're going to change it to a number higher than 100 will actually slow down your speed. A number lower than 100 will actually speed it up. So for example, I'm going to change mine to 400. Make sure that when you're slowing down and speeding up, you don't distort the sound too much. Then hit Enter. You're going to see that the time clip is a lot longer because I've slowed it down. Here you can see that the duration has almost tripled. Just remember, the smaller the number, the faster the speed, and the higher the number, the slower the speed of your time clip. Deleting tracks. If you'd like to delete just a section out of a voice clip, you want to hit the time selection tool. Next, you're going to highlight the selection you'd like to remove and hit the delete button. Playing the tracks. To simply play, you want to hit the time selection tool and then hit your spacebar. As you can see, if you have voice clips on multiple tracks, they will play at the same time. What you want to do is hit the mute button so you can listen to one track individually. Alrighty, that's all I got for you. Hope you had fun watching and that you learned something from the video. Ciao for now!